midnight at Milngavie train station. Each year 100 competitors gather here for an extraordinary event.
From what I've heard, this race is pretty unique. I think it compares with some of the top races that people talk about in the world.
Some people have rated it the hardest race in the world because you have to commit yourself to 95 miles non-stop, and if you're going for a good time, of course you know it's going to hurt like hell, you know.
There's only around 300 different people have ever successfully finished this event. That's not a lot.
What makes a race for me is the people, and the people that do this one are incredible.
If you are able to push yourself to a limit, it's not just for the race, it's also for your whole life.
Basically, we have got to place a tag with a body, so to speak.
I like to call myself the race coordinator because it's not me that organises the race as such, it's a group of people and I just coordinate them.
If you have to withdraw for any reason, and there's no disgrace in withdrawing from this race, right? Make your way to the checkpoint that you were running to.
I've run the race 10 times. This will be my 11th. And I just love the race. It's hard, it's really hard, but I love the race.
My name's Ian Beattie. I'm 39 years old and I'm a chartered accountant, finance director for a legal firm in Edinburgh. I still get the reaction when I talk to people and they say did the West Highland Way Race. A lot of people, particularly in Scotland, have walked it and they find it probably quite challenging 5-day walk. And when you say to people, even who are reasonably fit, you say, I did it in, I say, what did you do, in 21 hours? They just think that's impossible. I think it's just out with the realms of what's reasonable, and that was very much what I thought at first as well. I thought this isn't an achievable target. But then when you start looking at the list of people, and you see people have done it. They're all ordinary people, I suppose, and they've managed to do it. And you start thinking, yeah, I could do this as well.
Really just blind terror is all I can describe on the start line.
It's a fantastic start. It really is one of the best experiences because Milngavie is quite a quiet suburban type of place, and you turn up there at, most people meet from about 11:30 onwards in the night of the race, and it just transforms into, you can feel everybody's adrenaline going and the excitement of it, and I think it's almost just that apprehension, it's just sheer panic to an extent. Is this going to go okay? It's a long way, there's so much that can go wrong.
The runners leave Milngavie at 1 AM. They now have a maximum of 35 hours to complete the 95-mile route.
The first section you're doing that in pitch black usually, and sometimes we get it wrong.
When I did the race in 2001, the first 35 runners missed one of the signposts and ended up about a mile to the west of where we should have been, and we ended up having to come back across a river. This was at 2 in the morning, back across a river trying to find the West Highland Way path. It was just, it's not what you want when you've got a 95-mile run ahead.
At the beginning of the race, everybody's chatting away from nerves, of course. So you're all chatting away in the darkness, going up the first sort of mile or so in the dark underneath it. Sometimes bumping into trees unless you've got head torches, you know. So it's all very upbeat at the start. Everybody thinks it's just wonderful, you know. And it is wonderful because it's a nice feeling. You get this ahead of you and you're looking forward to it.
The runners make their first pit stop at Drimmen, some 12 miles into the race.
There we are.
Race coordinator Dario keeps an eye on developments.
Aye, I mean, I think they should be within. Aye, there's light. That was the first light there. I mean, I'm thinking it's like going to be like Ian Beattie, maybe Paul Gordon, Kate. Carol Price possibly, you know, so there's these folk that I mean I would say have got possibilities. It's Jodie Young from Ayrshire.
Right, Jodie.
You're looking around and wondering if people know what they're doing or if they don't know what they're doing. Because the guy who can be in the lead after 10 miles might end up taking 33 hours if he doesn't know what he's doing. So I think most people are just kind of keeping an eye on folk, seeing like, I'm in the right place, have I gone off too fast, too slow?
I already noticed that Jodie was taking on a lot of water. The humidity is causing the body to overheat, and I hope runners are aware of that and try and take plenty of moisture on. Sometimes because there's not any sun shining brightly, they don't realise that they're dehydrating. But hopefully the backup teams will do their job and keep them hydrated. Be careful, Jodie, okay?
Speed's not important, especially at the start.
The group runners arrive in Drimmen 8 minutes after the leader.
Well done, Kate. That's me, Kate. Well done.
Well done. Well done, guys.
What did you do to yourself, man?
I've had a neck op, a disc out the back of my neck. So,
Oh, blimey. How are you feeling?
not bad, not bad.
You see loads of shadows, you hear everything. It's completely different in the dark. And I ended up doing about 7-minute mile pace through it because I was terrified of my own.
Maybe? No, 2 hours exactly, I think.
The fast early pace helps Ian Beattie arrive in Drimmen ahead of schedule.
All right, thank you. 1:59:30. Touch fast, but what the hell?
Just watch your speed because a lot of them are moving awful fast today.
I do. I think
The front runners
too fast.
I'd like to think I could, I was tempting fate by saying it, but I'd like to think I could get down to much closer to 20 hours with a fair wind, and I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do that, what I'm going to do differently, but that's part of the target, to bring my time down a bit. Okay, I'm away.
Right, just take it easy now.
Okay.
Just
It's a race. Of course it is. It's a race. See you later.
This year will be kind of special to finish because, well, that'll be over 1,000 miles of the West Highland, and my 11th time. It's each one's special, They've all got something that stands out from all the others.
Alan Kay reaches Drimmen just after 2 hours, but there's a problem.
Well, twisted my knee. It's gradually getting worse, but it's not, it's not unbearable yet.
Right, okay.
I'll just see what it's like when I get down to my car. Okay.
Okay, right, Al.
See you later.
Paper at the top.
All right, cheers.
Susan Gray arrives at Drimmen.
Excellent spot. How you doing? I'm all right, actually.
This is Susan's first attempt at the West Highland Way Race.
3:28, how's that?
2 minutes early.
Water? 2 minutes early. Loads of water.
First got involved in running to get fit, basically for a course I was doing at Conic College. So I started running basically in a pair of Grottio badminton shoes round a track in Prestwick, and it just developed from there. I started entering races and I just got bitten by the bug basically. And it just gives me the freedom as well to get out and be by myself, gives me time.
Thank you. Okay. Bye. Take care.
Well done.
Well done. There's a saying that Dave Wallace, who's won this race 3 times during the 90s, said. He always said you can't win the race by the time you get to the Loch Lomond, but you can always lose it by the time you get there. Meaning that basically if you go far too fast, if you get to Loch Lomond ahead of what you should be, you're never going to survive. So I would say the early pace is crucial. I mean, they've run a relatively flat, easy 12 miles, and now they've got to do the climb up into the woods and over Conic Hill, and that'll take a lot out of them.
At the 20-mile mark, runners reach Balmaha after a sharp climb and descent over Conic Hill.
I think that guy was sitting about 4th position.
Third or 4th position anyway at the Drimmen.
And the boy that's in the lead was in the lead, there's no sign of him.
That's definitely a surprise leader. I mean, he's obviously a dark horse that we weren't quite sure.
So you might find that he's suited better to the hills up here.
But that's a fast section he's put in, George. If I make him for 4th, jeez oh.
Conic Hill's reasonably tough. It's tough going up, but it's even tougher coming down. You come down a very steep couple of miles into Balmaha.
Oh, that's a marvellous experience. There's one year I got to the top of Conic Hill and the sun had just come up and there was clouds actually below us going up the valley. It's absolutely wonderful. I mean, you don't get views like that. Not that you get much of a chance to see them, but occasionally I do just take in what's around me.
Get the camera set. I didn't hear no helicopter.
do a lot of ultra distance running on the road and run for Scotland, and a lot of people have done it, and it starts from where I stay, so I always wanted to try it, so I said I'd do it before I was 30, so this was it, big year.
What do you want?
What is that?
That's
And every time I've done it, I get to Balmaha, you think, by this stage I've covered 20 miles, I've got 75 miles still to go, and my legs are sore.
Sorry?
5.
Are you going straight through?
No, but my car's away down there, so... Yeah, they will do. And you're thinking, if you didn't know that you could get through that, you'd be tempted to panic and think, I shouldn't be this sore as early in a race. But actually, you come and go, you have good bits and you have bad bits, and actually quite often the good bits are in the later stages of the race, and the bad bits are early on. Your body's almost telling you not to run too quickly in the early stages in case you blow it.
And you can literally, 20 miles into a race, be wanting to leave, wanting to crawl off the course and go home, and 30 miles into that same race be flying. So we call it bonking, where your blood sugar starts crashing and you didn't get enough food in, or the food that you got in hasn't kicked in yet.
Susan Gray, a lecturer from Napier University, is running the West Highland Way Race in memory of her father who died last year.
I've always fancied giving this a go, this West Highland Way, because it is like one of the most ultimate extreme things you can do. And I think since my dad died last year, I've been channeling everything into this, and it's been my way of dealing with my emotions and my grief. I think I've not really been that emotional about the whole experience, because I think everything has just been channeled into my running instead. My only concern is like what will happen after the West Highland Way, you know, whether there'll be anything.
I think you've got to be pretty determined, focused. But I think the other thing that I've felt it has become almost equally important. There's a lot of planning goes into it. It's getting the planning with your backup team. It is a team event. I wouldn't underestimate for a minute the importance of the backup to this whole thing, and they've got such a key part to play in it, in getting you there and in being encouraging and in giving you the food at the right time.
Yep. Right. It is raining right enough.
Right, thanks so much.
Love you. See you later.
Bye.
What do you want there, Denon?
I need to have pasta and some soup, I think.
Pasta and soup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
He was 3:45 going away for here last year. He's 3:34. That's his time going away.
Goodness sake.
But he's got a time in mind, George.
I know. He's high beat.
He's trying to beat.
Okay.
And he's feeling good, so.
Right, I mean, yes. Considering he's had what, 4 hours sleep.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing too, I guess.
Hi. Big mistake. Should have put on long trousers. I was looking for a challenge in my life, and I was thinking, well, this would be a nice challenge, and because I walked this way and know the route, just try to warm up the muscles again, put on long trousers, eat something, just relax and hopefully get back. So I think this would be really a big challenge for me to train for, and it would be a big goal for me in life to achieve this.
Do you know, it's really weird because I just feel like I'm so last because there's nobody around.
I've ran every single section of the West Highland Way in training at, you know, the various stages, to refresh my mind of what it's all about. The long runs really started in January. Prior to that, I've only done one marathon back in 1997, so I've not really done a lot of long distance stuff.
The longest Susan has ever run prior to the race is 46 miles, less than half the distance of the West Highland Way.
Can I have one that I can get the lid off? You can.
I know now I can cover 46 miles, and that took me just short of 13 hours, so I know I can go for that length of time. After that, it's no man's land. I've no idea how I'm going to get on. It's basically pushing myself further than I've ever had to push myself in the past before, both physically and mentally. But to be honest, I haven't put those training runs together with the West Highland Way Race when I'm going to be doing it for real this time.
See you later. Bye.
The course continues with the next checkpoint 22 miles ahead at Inversnaid. There's a brief stop off at Rowerdennan to refuel.
You've no concept of, normally you wake up, you have breakfast, and then you have lunch, and then you have tea, and then you go to bed. There's no concept of that at all. You just eat when you're hungry. And you start in the dark, you inevitably finish in the dark, and you just run through the whole day. That's one of the things that I just find so odd. It just kind of blows your mind away. Right? Thank you for this bit.
On the first stop, I usually have a piece of jam and a wee cup of tea. And on the second stop, I have 2 sausages on a piece. Some people couldn't run after that, but I can. I'm one of these people. I can eat and run.
Right.
Pint of tea.
I'll put it down.
You need to lift it up for him though.
I know.
From halfway on, I usually have some soup and some ambrosia rice, and that and my jelly babies. That sees me through. I've run for 20 odd years now. I didn't start running till I was about 40, and I took up, I stopped smoking, and a couple of years after I stopped smoking, I took up jogging just to keep the weight down, and did a half marathon, a full marathon, and just took off from there. Just did more and more. I don't want to stop too long because if I do, my leg's going to stiffen up.
Oh, money bigger.
Now that's what I call timing.
Oh!
That's the fast thing there.
I don't think you could do it without one. You really have to have a support team that feeds and waters you, and it's my weekend for being absolutely selfish. They are there to see me through each point. I don't have to worry about what they're doing or where they are. I know where they are. They're getting things ready for me.
Injury problems forced Soren to withdraw from the race. Susan eventually arrives in Rowerdennan much later than planned, and is beginning to become concerned about making the next checkpoint.
Up and down. It's the longest way to go. Oh. Get some water and then just go. I just want to get to Inversnaid and then I can relax a little bit.
Did you get a big one at the back there, please, Robert?
How long have I got to? I've got 9 hours.
9 hours to get to Inversnaid.
Which is 10 o'clock, so that's 2 hours. I should be all right, but I just don't want to hang around here because that took me longer than I thought because I was feeling really crap. I hate that section. Every time I turn the corner, it's like, oh, for fuck's sake. I felt really, really sick.
Did you?
Yeah, I think it's that juice. I'm not going to have any more of that.
Okay.
Might just take one of them, yeah. Jules, I'll probably want like change of socks and vest and stuff like that. Okay. I'll text you from Inversnaid to let you know what I want for eating.
As the race continues along the banks of Loch Lomond, the runners spread out and become increasingly isolated.
The north end of the shore of Loch Lomond, where the roots and the rocks are horrendous. That's probably the worst track I've ever run in my life. One of the worst I've ever run in my life anyway.
62, 63.
See you later.
Many runners find this section one of the toughest.
And then gradually as time goes on, you're getting tired and you're getting more spread out, so there's less people to talk to, and maybe there's nobody to talk to for long periods of time because you're not running with anybody. And then as your spirit gets eaten into by the sheer vagaries of what you're doing to it, you know, you get quite more despondent, and then you get desperate. You know? And really, after about 40, 50 miles, as I said before, it just becomes absolutely totally mental, totally.
It is here where potential winners of the race emerge.
Once you've got past the first section, you're virtually on your own from then on. You'll maybe pass somebody or somebody will pass you, but apart from that, you're virtually on your own. There might be a runner half a mile in front of you and another one half a mile behind you, but because of the way the race is and the conditions are, you virtually never see anybody. So you're just there on your own, and that's it. You've got to kind of draw into yourself.
I find in a funny sort of way, every year I've done it, I've found that the section up Loch Lomond to Benglass Farm, particularly from Inversnaid, is a long, tough section. That's probably the hardest bit of the whole course. There's trees you have to clamber up and down, rocks are quite slippy. And it's also, because of the way the roads go, you don't see your backup team from Rowerdennan to the top of Loch Lomond, so it's a long time to be out there on your own. And I find that bit very tough. By the time I get into Benglass Farm, I think I've only done 40 miles. I'm finding this tough. I'm not even at the halfway stage yet.
Ian reaches his backup team after the journey up Loch Lomond.
Alright, Paul.
Yeah.
Get yourself down. Right, what do you want first? What do you
Can I have
want?
some water first, please?
Water.
Some Coke. And if I can have some soup as well.
Oh. Right, yes.
Thanks, sir.
How's the water in the thing we're here just now? Okay, aye?
No, just about empty.
Oh.
That was just horrendous. No, but see the bit going into Inversnaid, which is normally quite easy. I was falling asleep on my feet. And I thought, I can't do this today. And I said to George, I just walked away. I got through Inversnaid and started to feel better again. So
Just a tough section, right enough.
Don't worry. Adrian's always said you get 3 goes, 3 times that your body tells you to chuck it. And that's it. Said you don't listen to them.
Right, so many times
once.
Many times it chucked you, just once.
Just once. I think it's mostly down to mental toughness and the psychological side. I think that's one of the things that people who haven't run the distance wouldn't believe. I don't think I'll be pulling back. I'll just work away. I'll just keep.
What do you want for the road? Don't forget, we'll go up the road.
I don't think I need anything. Just my water, and I'll see you in.
We'll see you up
Nah.
there. Get that done you first.
I'll see you in
Just get
50
that
minutes.
done. Aye. Just get that done.
I know.
We'll see you up at the cottages, or the crossover, the road.
But
Take it from
actually,
there,
in a
right?
funny sort of, I would find it more difficult now to run a sub 3 hour marathon, I think, than a sub 23 hour West Highland Way race, because the marathon you've got to get it all right. You don't get any chances of anything going wrong. You have to have a pace for the whole way. The West Highland Way is fantastic, but there's sections where if you get tired, well, you can walk for a couple of minutes and give your body a bit of a break, and you can stop at your backup, get a drink, and then get going again. So it's just an ongoing endurance event that a lot of people I mean, obviously there is a huge element of fitness to be able to put your body through that, but I think as long as you've done the training and as long as you're used to being out there for 7, 8, 9 hours, you can push yourself to that level. Time just becomes how long it takes to get from A to B.
Backup crew have been with me for practically 10 years now, and they know me inside out, so they know from when I start running, they know when to watch out for me and when to get everything ready for me. Ian Murray, he's the driver. Simon Hunter, he sees to my feet and does all the jobs, everything. Anne Christie, she is the cook now, because she used to be a runner, but she's got arthritis now, so she can't run. So she does a lot of the other things. And Jill Foggy, she runs with me if she's allowed to. On some stages you've got to double up. You've got to have a runner run with you. And she's the one that would run with me. And Simon Hunter would do short distances with me if you had to.
We meet you in the underpass.
Yeah, aye.
Right, go for it. Okay. Oh, he's lost half an hour from last year. So he's a wee bit behind.
Well, half an hour over 22 hours.
Oh, nothing.
Could make that up. That's
fit and healthy.
Could gain that up. Depends on the weather and the ground, you know.
And his knee, like,
it could be holding him back slightly, you know. But I think he's over that. I think he's running through the pain, just running on with that.
Coach you.
Oh, everything. I've fallen 2 or 3 times and hurt my knees. I've had the muscles tighten up coming off Conic Hill. Damaged one of my muscles in my upper thigh, and that hurt for the rest of the race. But later on, I fell and banged my knee, and the pain from my knee was worse than the muscle. So that was, and then later on, I bashed my foot and burst 2 toenails. So that was even sorer, so it takes the pain away from the other bits.
Meanwhile, Dario has been informed of a possible violation of the race rules.
Hello, it's Dario, the race organiser. Your runner was warned about having somebody running with him when he came into Derry Darrick. Well, the thing is, he had somebody running with him through Inversnaid. He's been at it, but unfortunately the marshal at Inversnaid didn't warn him. So you were able to warn him, and then I've not been able to find him doing it again, if you see what I mean.
Dario confronts the support team.
Right? There's no point in taking part in it if you're not up to it.
As soon as we were told, we backed off. We've not been anywhere near him since then.
Well, it's just that I was told by several people that you were still with him going out to Derry Darrick.
No, I ran away from him then, because I had passed Adrian Stott. Adrian will tell you that.
That's okay, I've just got to react to what I'm told, right?
Apologise if it was not intentional.
But no, I appreciate you coming up to see me.
This one goes out to the one I've left behind.
My 2 support drivers are my brother and my dad's partner, and it's just as hard for them, if not harder, because they don't know what's going on when I'm out on the route. They'll only meet me at certain points and they've no idea what's happening in between. And they've got to stay awake for as long as I'm awake as well. So, you know, there's a lot of people have invested a lot into this. I also can't tell them exactly when I'm going to get there. Obviously, I don't know, but I have given them a timing sheet of my estimated times of getting to each checkpoint, and they'll be there.
I was absolutely delighted when she asked me to come on the support team with her. So it was fantastic, actually. It's the way she's worked to achieve a fitness level has been phenomenal, quite honestly.
Trying to text you for about 2.5 miles.
I haven't had a network
No, neither have I.
forever. You know,
Got to sit down and have a wee sleep. Go down under a tree, haven't you?
But I've adopted the old man shuffle run now.
Have you?
Running like a 90-year-old. Well, I'm shuffling like a 90-year-old, not even running anymore.
Having never done it before, I don't know what I'm going to want at each checkpoint. Food-wise, clothes-wise, drink-wise. I think people that have done it before have the advantage of knowing what they're maybe going to feel like wanting to eat or drink, whereas I'm just going to have to turn up at each checkpoint and say, I think I'll have some soup now, or I might have a banana, I'm not sure. So I can only brief them so far.
Jaffa cakes?
Do you know what I had in my text?
Really?
My text said...
Everything that I haven't got, I guess.
2 clementines or mandarins, whatever they are.
Yeah.
A tray of fruit salad.
Yeah.
A bagel.
Yes.
And ambrosia rice pudding.
Right, we've got bagel out of that lot. Sorry, babe. And I got a jam sandwich in there. So
listen.
We started talking about it last October. I think she had it in her mind before to do it last year, but of course then when her father died she said she wanted to do it in his memory. So I think it was just the focus that she needed to actually ensure that she got all the preparation completely right. So yeah, whilst there is that element of it, but I think it has just spurred her on, quite honestly.
I guess in the back of my mind there's always been that influence that, you know, my dad was a runner and that was the sport I was going to do. And again, running it in memory of him, I think is just the challenge of doing this. I think with that in mind, I will get through the whole thing because I know why I'm doing it. I'm doing it in his memory, which will just give me the impetus to keep going. And I was talking to him when he was in hospital saying I'm going to do the West Highland Way. I hadn't said then it was for him because obviously he was still alive then, but it was going to be the following year. And I think he thinks I'm a bit, or he did think I was a bit crazy, but I know that him being a distance runner, he would have understood the reasons behind wanting to kind of challenge yourself in a physical event like that, and he would have been proud of me.
George, is there a blister there?
Where?
Yeah.
Can I see for you?
Sorry.
Where is it? No, the blister's there. Look, there it's there.
There?
No, but that was... You think you'll do this when you get older?
Probably not.
Why not?
Because it's long and I'll get bitten by the ridges.
You can tell, I'm never going to near his feet. There's no sucking in this house.
You're nuts, stay anyway.
Saturday.
How are you, Gordon?
Right. Rough area.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh, come on.
I'm getting better.
You're getting better, aye. Remember, you used to be rubbish at that sort of thing.
At the same place where? There?
Yeah. Running repairs.
How you doing, Ian?
Oh, been better.
Been better, been better. Has it been pretty humid, aye? Tough.
Oh, it's been really tough today. Really tough. I'm sort of struggling a wee bit, I think. I struggled. I had a really bad patch just before Inversnaid, and I was tired and I was kind of falling asleep, and I just struggled. But I managed to get myself back together and back into it.
So yeah, it's been an adventure this year.
Yeah, it's just hanging on now to see.
You're having sick again,
No, well, just a few things.
It's good for
So keeping food down is a problem,
It's
honey, is
lovely.
that what you're telling me?
The soup's lovely.
Second time around.
You would ask that question.
Disgusting.
Just to get some food down and then see how you go.
There. Just take my time.
See you later on up the route.
Nah, maybe tomorrow by the time. Coherently.
No, you'll be fine up there.
As Ian leaves Tyndrum, Paddy Jamil has broken away, reaching the 72-mile mark in 13 hours.
How you doing?
Help me.
The human body is amazing. You know, you've read about the death marches of different prison groups or situations where society has put such high pressure on people to survive, and they've survived months and years sometimes with minimal food in death camps and that sort of thing.
It's just too hard. It's just up and down non-stop. My feet are just, my ankles are all twisted.
And you wonder what it is about the human spirit that can create that scenario for that survival thing to happen. And running 100 is a really good experiment with, you know, what the human is capable of. We're pretty amazing.
I don't know what's coming up and when it's coming up. I'm just going with what's in front of me. Going along the loch was just broke me to bits. I think it's only because I've been eating properly that I've managed to keep going. Because I've been just as tired for the last 40 miles. But my body's still working. I don't know if I'm going to be able to run this. Made it to the top at least.
How are you feeling at this point?
Alright, I'm just glad I'm at the top and I'm going to walk a wee bit and then run as far as I can. Alright, take care.
Clouds begin to gather as weather reports warn of possible storms. The chasing group are half an hour behind the leader.
Pretty tired. Yeah, I think my legs lost interest in running about an hour ago. So I think I might end up. It's just 20 miles too long, I think. I've done some of the long rounds, like the Bob Graham round, and yeah, it's. I think it's harder because there's more running, so you tax the running muscles in your legs a lot more. So I find it pretty hard. So I'm just looking forward to getting back now. There you go. Thanks, Carl. Good luck.
Had better days. I think the guys on ahead are fresher, but hopefully we'll get to the finish without sort of doing anything untoward and hopefully maintain this pace.
Have you done this course before?
long time ago. 2000. Went over on my, well, damaged my knee and had to walk from King's House in. It's a long walk. The toughest part is you're here and it counts for nothing unless you get those extra couple of miles.
How you doing, mate? Top here. Absolute top here.
But it's just having a willpower not to give up and to keep going. And part of that's the psychology of it, that if the year I dropped out, we just had a baby, my wife was at home, there was always a pressure on me to turn around and go back the way. Whereas ever since then, my wife and George have backed up, the children are there, they're always in front, so there's more of a psychological goal to run forward to them. And that's made a big difference for me. I think it's, if you know there's a bit of reluctance from your family to do it and they're a bit against it and they're not there, it would make it very hard when the going gets tough.
But the King.
My support team have been great and they're so patient, but sometimes it's completely unreasonable. There's a section you go over Rannoch from about 60 miles to 72, and the pace I'm usually running, we've got the Caledonian Challenge walkers coming the other way there, so there's thousands of walkers and you're tired, and some get out the way and others don't. They're just, all you can see ahead in this path is walkers, some on their mobile phones. So by the time I get to King's House, the steam's coming out my ears. And of course you're not in a mood for the backup team. One of the times George came up to meet me and he said, how you doing, Ian? And I said, oh, shattered, exhausted. These walkers in the way, and just completely unreasonable. And he said to me, are you going to keep going? We manage it. And of course I turned to him, don't be so stupid, of course I'm going to keep going, I've come this far. And this is the guy who's given up full weekend to help me out, and you're tired and you just go with it. King's House is probably the worst for that. I always find that's where I'm at my lowest point.
I don't know. I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, just the race itself, just the kind of conditions that you're running under, and the fact that it's never the same 2 years running. The first year I did it, we got hit with a blizzard, 2 o'clock in the morning. It just white out. Other years I've done it, it's been 90 degrees of heat going across Rannoch Moor. Other times it's bucketing rain, that's quite normal.
Sit. Come back.
Hi Alan, how you doing?
Oh, my legs have gone.
Your legs have gone?
Oh.
Solved that problem then. We can go home and get an early night.
You don't think so?
We're not doing any more water then, that's fine.
How's that last stage, Alan?
Tough.
Yeah?
Oh, I mean, you're climbing way up lower on the moor and it's wide open. And a lot of it is rough.
Simon, what did you do with the baffling?
So
What did you do with the
you're climbing all the time until you get to within about 3 miles here. And then you've got quite a steep decline coming back in. So neither of the two of them are much good.
No. Nearly there though. You're getting there.
Oh,
I've no idea how I'm going to get on in the latter stages of the race. I don't know what I'm going to feel, what my body's going to... I know I'm going to be in pain, and I'm accepting that. But I don't know how, if I'm going to turn into some kind of snarling, raving monster, or whether I'm just going to keep on going and be quite calm and happy.
As Susan reaches time drum, she has surpassed the farthest she has ever ran before. It's now 4 p.m. and she's been on the course for over 15 hours.
52 miles. Oh, babe. Oh.
I know.
Oh, God. I really want to do. I was so tired. I was nearly sleeping on my feet.
There's only so much you can train your body to do, and then after that point it's a mental game. You know, it's pushing yourself on. The things that will keep me going are, I'm going to have a picture of my dad with me and a t-shirt printed with his face on it and stuff, just so that if I put my head down and think I can't go on, and I can see that and think, no, just keep going, push yourself on.
Right, well, I'll see you at King's House. What are you doing there? That's about 18 and a half miles from me.
I don't see it as pressure at all. Deep down inside, I see myself at the finish line. I don't see myself stopping anywhere before then. I don't feel pressure to finish because I know that even if I have to pull out for whatever reason, whether it's injury or whether they stop me, whether the organisers stop me, I will have done the best I can do finishing it. I do believe I will get to the end, but I just don't know how long it's going to take me.
Do that at the finish.
Paddy reaches Loch Lomond. There is 15 miles to go, but his lead is shrinking.
You're getting there. You've still got a fair cushion, I think. Okay.
Well, I'm wanting to just...
I believe he was doing interviews with Alan on the staircase.
Quarter of a mile.
Quarter of a
What?
mile. And for the West Highland Way. Quarter of a mile to the right.
How far is it to the finish?
15 miles. Right. You see, your worst part is the climb up there. Once you get up the climb up there, right, that's the worst part. Okay? Just try and dig in and focus on getting that climb up. Be prepared that it'll take you a half hour climbing, okay?
Is it as bad as the Devil's Staircase?
Eh? It's worse than the Devil's Staircase, I'll be honest with you. Right. It's worse, but just dig in there. Once you're at the top of that, you've broken the back of it, okay? Hi Carl, how are you doing? You're Bruce, alright, excellent. So we're going to change the position. An idea, the leader left here about 15 minutes ago.
Alright.
Right, okay. And he's out on his feet.
Not the only one.
You want a beer?
No, he's not wanting a beer, John.
Bruce, anything that's on the top there, you have.
Yeah.
Socks.
So 15.
It's really finished.
Thirsty for a beer.
Your chance to be a hero.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 4 of you in 45 minutes, and that's the closest finish we've ever had. I mean, really.
Just look spaced out more.
I mean, sometimes actually the first, second, and third are within 3 or 4 hours of each other. So, yeah,
right.
I mean, I mean, sometimes folk are winning this by an hour and a half.
Yeah,
right. You know, we generally don't get four folk within an hour of each other. This is unheard of. But Duncan, I predicted this, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
When you were running it, Dario, what time were you here at?
I was here a lot later than this.
Later than this?
Yeah. That would be about 21 hours before I got here.
You always tried to hope you'd have got under 24 hours at one time, didn't you?
Yeah.
But it wasn't to be.
It wasn't to be.
Five, just five.
No, just one.
Five, right.
Yeah.
Number 5.
What time is it? 1848.
Hello, Paul. How you doing? We are mad. We are mad.
Hi, honey, how you doing?
For a race, like?
Hang on. See? Gordon, get in the car, now.
It was starting out, yeah.
It's quite nice, actually. It's quite
How you doing, okay?
I've not got soap. That's all I need trying to get.
That was a tough wee section.
Aye.
Got there in. That's that bit done. Oh, a short 14 miler to go now.
Yeah, one left.
We'll get there though.
I know.
We'll get there.
That's a really tough bit down, isn't it? See when your legs are just killing you.
I know, you can't make one leg go in front of the
Is
other.
there one bit that's good, huh?
No. Why do we do this?
It's your fault.
Why do we do this?
These silly decisions.
It's a daft, absolutely crazy distance. Over the years I've been amazed by where some people have stopped. There's numerous stories of people I've got to Loch Lomond, which is 80 miles in. And if you said to anybody, you've done 80 miles of a race, you've only 15 miles to do, you'd think, how on earth can you stop? But people do. They've reached as far as their body will push them. Their body won't take them any further. And I think that's a good thing. I think it's far better to do that and come back another day than to try and just push beyond the level of where you can realistically do it.
Aye, you can even just dump that into the thing when you're passing, if you like. Save you carrying a bit.
Are you ready?
Well,
Am I ready?
Struggling.
Oh.
Right.
I'll be fine once we get going.
Okay.
Don't let it rub your back.
Ready?
Okay, good luck. See you later.
Susan's support team reach King's House and have an anxious wait for her arrival off Rannoch Moor. Susan's mother has joined them to offer extra support over the closing stages.
It's always hard. It's always hard. The first bit where you're heading towards the Devil's Staircase, you're on rough ground. And then the Devil's Staircase itself is just tough. 1997 was my best race. That was my best time. And I really enjoyed that. The weather was great, the conditions were perfect, and I really enjoyed that race. Just nothing went wrong from start to finish.
That'll do. Now comes for the fun bit.
Just keep saying to yourself though, it's the last bit.
Oh, this is going to hurt.
This is the last bit, Phil.
This is going to hurt.
Okay, but it's the last bit.
It's maybe the last bit, but it's still going to hurt. Right?
Want a hand up?
I think I need a hand up. I think more than one person. Don't you lift me up and won't.
No, I've made it to the end every time. No, I've never not finished, touch wood. If I didn't finish, then I'd give it everything I've got. If I didn't finish it, because I had nothing left. I certainly wouldn't just pull out because I hurt my foot, hurt my leg or something like that. I'd have to be really bad before I stopped.
Pain in the arse, is he? Hurry up and get out. Come on. End up here.
I want to get you in bed. I can't get to bed till you've gone. It'd be embarrassing.
Oh. How many is this, Alan?
11.
Well done.
It's,
what do you say to him, man? He doesn't need any coaching.
I'm done. Not well.
You're okay. You know it's always like this, man. Just go on with it, right?
He's been a wimp.
Well, you don't say that to Alan too, though.
You see it behind my back.
Actually, I forgot to say to you at one of the checkpoints, when one of the guys asked who we were back up for, we said you it was not worthy, not worthy.
Towards the end, you're running and walking, and occasionally falling over, and really, you're giving. I mean, if somebody told you that if you ran a bit harder, you'd break your personal best. You can't, because you really are giving everything you've got. A couple of times I've managed to do a wee sprint at the end, but that's just being stupid. By the time we get up there, my legs will be all right.
You're just so tired, and that section is there's nothing at all except going up the Larrick Moor, and you can probably see 4 miles ahead where you're trying to get to, but it just seems to take so long to get there. Everybody finds that bit tough.
Oh, sir. We'll get there. Follow yellow brick road, we'll find it.
We'll get there. It's been very tough today.
Yeah.
I had a really bad patch just before Inversnaid, and I felt I was falling asleep.
Yeah.
And I thought I'm not going to make this today. And by the time I got beyond the checkpoint, I felt okay again, and it's been better since. But it's been tough. It's been a hard run. Ended up on Friday, you get 2 hours sleep when it should have been having about 7. So don't think that helped. But we'll make it. We're last section, and With a fair wind, we'll get under 23 hours.
At Lundravah, there's an anxious wait for the leaders.
So on that basis, about an hour and 40 to here, so he's going to be here approximately 15, 16, another half hour.
Okay. Great.
No, 5 miles.
5 or 7?
5.
Paddy emerges first, but the race has taken its toll.
That last point.
But it's against a different runner.
Alright.
Okay. And the guy is doing well. He's moving well. The guy who is in second place now. Better than Carol. But it's up to you to lose now. Okay. So. You want any grog?
My best.
I'm sure you are. Your best. You're the best just now. Okay.
Sure, there's only 5.
Yep.
Well, we weren't quite sure of the extent of the lead of the first guy, so therefore this section is essentially 7/12 to the final section. So we're trying to extrapolate now and work out if he's gained any time. But obviously the longer that it is before he arrives, the less likelihood that it is that he's actually gained time, may even have lost time. If he appeared in the next couple of minutes, probably would still be on, maybe even the next 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
All to play for. But he really needs to appear quite soon.
Bruce Hall unexpectedly takes the lead with 2 miles to finish.
When did you pass Andy? Just after the forest.
Well done. Well done,
My goal was to run the race and do it and remain healthy, and I felt that if I did that, then the times would take care of themselves. I thought probably between 19 and 21 hours would be sort of the times that I would do. As I say, I haven't really done it. I've only done one race of this distance before, so I'm not very good at predicting the times. But to come in a couple of minutes underneath what I thought was my best possible time, I was delighted with. I said 5 years ago that I'd come back every 5 years. I managed it this year, so I fully intend to come back in 2010. I don't think my body can recover within a year for it.
There's a golden rule and it's daylight is gold. And that's just meaning at that stage in the races, while you've still got daylight, try and push on no matter how tired you are, because within a few hours the lights will go out basically. And you know, if you need to rest, rest while it's dark.
About 70 something to here?
Yeah.
72 or something like that. I think it's just 23 to go, so.
34! Oh, how's my phone? 21 to 27. Well done. Let us know when you're going for it. Yeah.
Somebody let us know,
Yeah, we will do.
Susan eventually reaches King's House at 10:30 p.m. It's getting dark.
The people who are out who are taking 30 hours, 33 hours, that's a long time to be out doing an event like that. Some ways it's easier doing it in the 22, 23 type stage, because at least you're only out for a day.
I ate one satsuma, half a pot of rice pudding.
I think she's found it harder than she thought it was going to be. You know. A hot day, of course, doesn't help. But, I think she'll be quite emotional when she finishes.
It's funny because I try and think what I'm going to feel like at the finish line, to know, you know, the emotions. I'm not sure. It will mean everything to me if I do finish it, because it has been obviously this main goal, predominantly since October last year. You know, everything has been focused into this one event, but it'll be fantastic to say that I've actually covered, you know, the West Highland Way. It'll mean everything to me.
She'll make it. She'll make it. She's very determined. She doesn't like to give up easily.
No.
And as you know, why she's doing it.
Yeah.
She'll do it. That's a long sleeve.
Yeah. I'm hoping that there will be closure on one part of my life, and that's having to have dealt with my dad's illness and his death prematurely. He was only 64 when he died, and I hope that I can move on in a positive way after this, and therefore in one aspect it will be closure on a particularly upsetting and sad time of my life, and I can then look forward to move on. That's what I hope. Whether that actually happens or not, I don't know. I'm hoping that this will release something in me that I can then say, right, that's that, I've dealt with that now, let me move on to the next sort of challenge in my life.
Possible 74 finishers.
Yeah.
So how many finishes have you got so far?
I think Debbie will be either the 9th or 10th.
That's good.
So yes, it's top 10 placing as well.
That's brilliant.
What's your temperature like? Are you cold? Cold, right. Well, when you get in, with a lot of people like this, because you're kind of been damp for so long, and the temperature has dropped. Right. You probably caught that in that rain as well.
A wee bit, yeah.
So get in and then back up if you can get her some dry clothes and just have a warm shower and just try and get your body temperature back up, right?
One of the major sections I'm concerned about is from King's House into Loch Lomond. First you've got the Devil's Staircase, which isn't too bad. It's not as bad as it sounds. Yeah. But going down the other side into Loch Lomond is relentless. It's just down all the way, and it seems like it goes on forever. It's maybe about 3 or 4 miles, but the constant pounding on your knees. And I think by the time I get there, having ran 70 odd miles, by the time I get to that section, it'll be all I can do, I think, to even just walk down there. I think that's the bit I'm dreading most. Once I get past that, then I know I'm into the home straight, as it were. Yeah. You know, once I get to Loch Lomond, I'll get it, I'll finish it, definitely.
I think she's going to be walking the rest of the way anyway. I don't think she will do, unless maybe the last little 5 yards or something, she might manage to break into a trot. But that'll be about it. And then a nice cold bath, I think, to help the aching bones.
Well then.
Okay, once more into the breach.
9 miles. Okay, 9 miles in however many millions of days.
Come 34's away.
34 is gone. Bye.
Oh, nice with it, nice with the light. Yeah, cool.
Very fashionable.
Yeah.
You want to get one?
Give me a flash if you like.
I'm done.
I didn't even think, I haven't been training for a month, I didn't even think I would finish. I need to get warm clothes on.
Yes, it's a bed and breakfast. Space blanket. There's a shower here. The
It's not really sunk in yet, I never thought I would do it, and I just can't wait to tell folk I've done it, to be honest.
It's always a fantastic feeling. The last couple of miles are always great because it's pretty much downhill into Fort William. It's quite a tough. It's quite sore in your legs, but 2 years out of the 4 where I've got there, I've ended up in a sprint finish with somebody trying to beat them over the last mile, which is just ridiculous. Last year somebody beat me by 15 seconds, and if I did should have had another 400 metres and I'd have caught him. Number 5.
It looks, your man still looks quite fresh.
Thanks so much. What was it, 22, 24?
22, 42.
22, thanks. Another year I just beat somebody in a sprint for the line, and you think, after 21, 22 hours, it's crazy. You don't know where you get the energy, but you get a real high from it. Also very emotional, I feel, coming into Fort William. Very emotional, you feel the tears. You've done what you set out to achieve. 22:42. I'll check what position, Howard. What position did I finish up? What position did I finish up? 14. Oh dear. I feel really delighted now. I felt good at the end. We had a really strong last section that we pushed on. I always seem to be strong over the last section, but no, it's good. It's good. I'm pleased with the time, under 23 hours. So no, delighted with that. So, I came in 14th. 14. Yeah. So it wasn't the smoothest run. I had a few problems en route, but
got an arm out? Yeah. I'll take your torch to you too.
Alan sustains an injury just a few miles from the finish line.
I didn't, we just went. That wasn't anything.
Well done, Alan.
Well
done. Well done. Oh, do you know? You went through it.
I'm sorry.
There you go. So best of luck.
Thanks a lot.
Gavin.
My right knee was the one that was giving me the problem. And when I got up onto the high plateau on the last section there, my left knee suddenly just gave me a lot of problems. and within 200 yards I couldn't walk, never mind about run. It was all swollen up on the inside, so I think it's cartilage. It's one of those things that happens. But, I'm kind of sick.
We've got a situation here where we've got 9 people outstanding. There's been a terrible lightning and thunderstorm. It's about 2:30 in the morning. We're in charge. We're not worried about anybody, right? There's no wind and it's warm, right? So it's just that the pressing factor of the rain and the dark, you know, and the fear factor comes into it as well. People are tired and they're fed up. So a few might drop out here, but most people, because they've got spirit, will keep going, right? They're at Loch Lomond, right? They've now got a really hard 15 miles ahead of them. A hard bit of ascent, and then a long stretch of long, arduous walk ahead of them.
Yeah.
Then the long, welcoming drop into Fort William. So they'll make it, right? There's nobody going to come through here that we'll let go on who will be in danger, right?
It's not good, is it?
That's not good. Absolutely drenched.
Yeah, well,
Can we get the heat on in the car and get
come on.
some...
What your numbers?
Sorry?
Just
I was going on, just me.
Just yourself,
Yeah.
34.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
You're going on, yeah?
You're not going to stop me, are you?
No.
She's going. Damn.
For the last bit.
What about Susan? Yes, please. Well, it was very wet. Thunder, lightning, unbelievable. Just lit up the whole sky. But very hard descent.
A nightmare scenario is if I'm actually stopped but I feel I can go on. If somebody says, if the organisers pull me out or if the weather is so bad that they have to stop the race, but I don't, that's something out with my control, that will I'll think, oh, I'll punch somebody if that happens, you know, because I'll be so frustrated.
When it was very heavy rain, I would have liked to have got here for them to say, you can't go on, the race is cancelled from here. But because they won't say that, I'm not going to pull out. So we're going on. I know I would, but I'm just like...
And then you'd have had to do it next year again.
No, I'm never doing this again. Get that in camera, I'm never doing this again.
Yes, I want it in writing.
Trying to do is just obviously get warm clothes for the runners and give them a hot drink, and then try and get them warm in the car, and then actually hopefully they'll be able to set off again and complete, which is obviously what we all want. So that's what we're trying to plan to do at the moment, Michael.
I'm probably going to sit here for a good half hour, 45 minutes. Wait till it gets light, because it's really hard trying to navigate with a head torch, and it's very heavy rain. And you can't, the rocks and everything and the stones, they sort of like take on a different entity at night, you know, you can't see the definitions the same, so we were tripping all over the place. Not on drugs.
I think probably it will be one of the hardest ultra distance races because of the terrain as well, though. It's not flat, you know, it's not even ground. You're constantly, well, I'm constantly tripping over stones and, you know, trying to pick your feet up, and you're up and down all the time. So that combined with the unpredictable weather.
We passed quite a few people, quite a few different groups actually. I don't think we were necessarily going fast, but they were hobbling, crippled almost, some of them.
Because those guys have...
We've got 60 through. So, as far as we know, there could be 6 now.
Yeah.
There was one chap in bandages, badly bandaged, but he's still limping on, so we shall just wait and see.
Susan has waited in the car for over an hour and the heavy rain has returned. It's 3:30 a.m.
Did you hear that?
What did he say?
The race is finished.
The race is now cancelled. It's just too severe up there. The rivers are now at 3 or 4 foot high and it's dangerous. Sorry, big disappointment. To us as well, I assure you. You know, we love organising this and helping you guys, but sorry. You can come up to Fort William and to the prize giving. There'll still be a prize given, but cut. Okay.
I'm glad the decision's been made for me, but at the same time I didn't finish
Well,
it.
it's just as well that you weren't away 5 minutes sooner.
No, I mean, it's no disrespect in what you've got to. So
I mean, you've only done 80 something.
Yeah.
You've done 81.
Yoo-hoo! Can you believe it though? It's been absolutely perfect weather.
I know, that's what we said. Could it not just have...
All the way through, it's been absolutely
come
ideal.
on for an hour or 2, 3 or 4.
Back at the leisure centre, Dario and his team are trying to account for those runners still on the course.
Well, we've never had a thunderstorm of this severity, this magnitude before. We've never had conditions quite like this. You know, we've had heavy rain, we've had snow, we've had all sorts of things, but we've never had flash floods like this, and that's what's made it so dangerous tonight. The priority now is get people off the hill safely, quickly, as soon as possible, and that's why we've closed the checkpoints down, not letting anybody pass any sections. And effectively close the race at that point.
Everybody okay, eh?
Look, the main thing is they're safe. They'll be regarded as finished. So tell them that. Can you find out what their names are and phone me back?
Leaving their numbers.
We're trying to identify who they are because they're missing. Can you find out their names and come here? Right? They'll get crystals, so don't worry about that. Right? Yeah, and if you can, right, if you can find out what their name and number and give us a ring back, because we've got about 3 or 4 folk we're trying to identify. Okay? No, they may not. We want them in here, right? Right, we want them in here. Yeah, yeah, right. Bye. There's still folk wanting to run.
I'm so glad you did it this year.
Well, if the rain had stayed off, you would have done it. Did you have showers lately?
We'll see you Tuesday, yeah? You going down the road now? Home. Alright. Well, drive carefully.
Shut your eyes for a wee while, eh?
See you on Tuesday.
Bye, Tony.
I'll be 50 this year, and this was my birthday present for this year. So in a way, you feel no.
Will you come back next year?
I have to consult the wife, and I suspect the answer would be no, especially when she finds out what happened.
I'm a bit miffed because it's only one more stage to finish the race, you know. So 5 hours and I would have finished the race, but you know, safety comes first. So I'm quite happy with the result.
Didn't finish, and part of me is extremely disappointed, you know, but the other part is relieved because if I'd been on the way up from Loch Lomond, which I could have been half an hour later, I would have had 10-12 miles to do in that weather.
Yeah, absolutely, I'm fine, thank you. You're right, Darren.
Did you guys get terrified of it? Might be a bit too
Oh, I got a soaking in the last stage, getting up that hill. Thunder and lightning.
There's two more guys just behind us that were on the hill coming down.
Yeah, 59.
I think I'll look back on it and say that was probably a bit more of an experience you would normally get from it. But, you know, well, next year I suspect I will not be allowed next year, unfortunately.
You never know.
You know, well.
You know, they could end up the same.
As runners return, some are not so happy the race was called off and come to question Dario.
Earlier on in the race, but when there's only 6 miles left to go, I would have thought if a case arises, then you should have a backup
Well,
plan.
we look at what's happened in previous years, right? The reason why we shut the route at Llanddafra is after Llanddafra there's 3 miles of climbing up through woods.
Yeah, but I don't understand why you couldn't use the road.
Because we want people off. The race is stopped, right? There was no point. There was no point in finishing. Your time going along the road wouldn't have counted because it's not the route. There was no point in making you go along something that isn't the route.
Now, does it?
No, it doesn't count now, but it saves you the effort for doing it. And at the end of the day, you're regarded as finished.
At that point in the race, we weren't bothered about the time.
Yes, but I'm bothered about your safety.
Well, it's safe to go along the road.
I tell you what, if you want to, you've got your tag off, right? You go back out to Llanddafra and you walk in if you want, okay?
No, we were told we couldn't do that.
Right, that's okay.
We were asked to do that.
But it's okay, Mark. I mean, you're saying you're not going to do it again, but to be honest, with your attitude, I wouldn't allow you back in the race anyway. You know, I'm delighted that you're getting your crystal, and you'll always be regarded as having finished it, but it's a safety issue. Okay? My cookie, I think he's going to get it.
I think that's the last of them.
I know. But you would believe some folk that is not their last thing in their mind. I've actually had folk wanting to go along the motor road from Llanddafra in here when they were told they couldn't go on the route. Saying, no, it's a safety issue, we want bodies here, right? I mean, it's incredible. Oh, actually, I can hear this, isn't it? Right, okay, thanks, Gus.
No, at the moment.
There's certainly an addiction to, I mean, people will stop the West Highland Way and say, I'll never do that again. Half an hour later, they're already planning next year. It's quite extraordinary.